Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Dojo Live. I'm Tulio Siragusa, broadcasting from Southern California, joined today by Carlos Ponce in Cuernavaca, Mexico, and Kim Lantis in Hermosillo, Mexico. Hi, guys. Welcome back.
Hey.
So it's good to be here
Today,
as ever.
today we have our guest. His name is Ricardo Regalado, who is the CEO and founder of Route. And hi, welcome, Ricky. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
So, we're going to be having an interesting conversation today because quite often blue collar industries often sort of feel left out of the tech play, but they don't have to be. And we're going to talk about that today. But before we do get into that topic, let's get to know you a little bit, Ricky. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself to the audience, and then we'll talk about your business as well.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm from Chicago, born and raised. I'm a Midwest guy, hence the blue collar kind of feel to what we do with our business. 100% Mexican. My father, came over here at 18 years old. My mom was born here. She was born in New Mexico. But we're a big Mexican family. Everybody's hardworking. I was actually the first to go to college. I was the first to be a business owner and entrepreneur. And I think I got the bug from my mom, seeing my mom work her ass off and work in a man's manufacturing world and seeing my dad, work just as hard or even harder. And I got that drive from them. So I like to say I'm building these businesses and companies that I have because of them and in their name. My father passed away about almost close to 2 years ago. He was my first employee, my first investor, my first role model. So, I'm a very family oriented man, as you'll learn that, my businesses all have family involved in it.
Love it. Well, it's great for you to introduce yourself. Thank you. We're sorry for your loss. I'm sure those memories will be a blessing to you for many, many years. Let's talk about Route. Tell us a bit about what prompted building it. What do you do? What's the business about? What's its mission?
Yeah, so I'm one of those stories of I built a solution and a technology tool platform for the same industry that I'm in. The Route is digitizing and streamlining the pen and paper and manual process of our industry. Think of a small business owner, especially in my industry. So let's talk about cleaning, right? Like my family business and my experience core competency comes from commercial cleaning facility services. What we're doing is when I wore all the hats in the beginning, I was a sales guy. I was the quality control. I was accounts payables, accounts receivables. I was sending the proposals. I was inspecting. You do everything when you're a small business owner and in the beginning. As I grew, I hit some walls because I couldn't grow and scale anymore because there wasn't the tools out there that helped you scale your bidding process, scale your sales process, and then take it into operations. So looked, couldn't find it. And I'm from Chicago and we have a big technology ecosystem here. And I'm part of the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And at the time, Omar, who's the president, was like, Rick, man, you keep talking about tech. You keep talking about these ideas. Go do something about it. And he's really he pushed me to do it. I entered a incubator and Route was born, right? But in the sense, we're solving the pen and paper. We're solving the issues of small business owners wearing too many hats and creating the digital solution from that, from step one to the end, right? And then just adding more tools and features to create a platform that helps them compete with the bigger guys.
Awesome. Well, I'm curious to learn more. You curious to learn more? I think we're all curious. So, Kim, let's introduce the topic and get right into it.
Sure. Thank you so much for being here today, Ricky. So the topic you chose is, and you've kind of unpacked it for us quite a bit already, is blue-collar small business owners can build tech too, rising from cleaning to a tech startup. So first of all, congratulations. I think that from what I'm hearing from you and your story with Root is one of the inherent advantages that you have is the intimate knowledge of how small businesses are run, the problems that you're coming across, and just what your types of your users might need most urgently and then what they could benefit from. Can you talk a little bit about just that insight and how you've maybe put that into play?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, Kim. Like I'm a subject matter, I hate the word expert, but in this case, I have expertise in this industry, in the solution that I'm building. So it gives our customers and our members the advantage of this guy walked in our shoes. He knows what it is to deal with these pain points, where a lot of solutions that come out, somebody thought of it. Somebody thought it would be a good solution, but do they really know that, right? How do they prove it? Where in our case, we tested on I have a family business called Regalado Services, and we are a cleaning company. So guess who's always the first one to test the product is my own family business, which gives us that competitive advantage, right? And my software team and the route team is incubated in this office and with the company. So these guys, my engineers, have stripped and waxed, carpet cleaned, gone on sales calls. They know what it is to bid a job. They know what it is to buy supplies. They know what it is to send an invoice. So they really know and are ingrained in the operation side. So it's just an advantage for the customers and the members that are going to be signing up and using our product, that they know, we've been there. All of the team that you're talking to, whether it's head of customer success, whether it's me, whether it's our business development, they've lived in your shoes and they hear it and feel it when they're coming on and onboarding or doing a demo. They'll ping me and message me because we're big on community. We have a lot of followers on social media. They just love that we talk the talk. We are walking in their shoes, talking the talk, just walking the walk, because it's so important. There's so many solutions out there that don't do that, and they come and go, where we feel like we're building a longevity type of relationship with our customers.
And the relatability, like I think that's super unique.
Yeah. As you can see, I mean, I got a podcast called Cleaning and Cocktails, where, there's nothing better than having a cocktail and shooting, I don't know if I can swear on here, but shooting the SHIT with and making people feel comfortable, because again, cleaning, it's not something people talk about. But guess
Cleaning
what?
and cocktails, that's my jam, man.
Yeah.
I love to get organized, and I could do it with a cocktail in hand, man.
It sounds a lot like our show. This is a serious show by non-serious people.
Exactly. There you have it.
Speak for yourself.
All right, Kim keeps us serious. All right, so Ricky, can we let's unpack this a little bit more. So the platform route, is this something you're using for your own business, or is this a platform you're licensing for other businesses that are in a similar space or are trying to manage their business better? Tell us a little bit more about how it is today and maybe what your roadmap plans are for the future.
Yeah, great question. Because everybody always assumes, right? Like, did I build this for me first? And then, how did it come to be a product? From get-go, we knew we were going to commercialize it. We built it for the industry. It just, we tested it on ourselves first to make sure we got it right. So our 1.0 that's out today, it solves the bidding process. We've digitized the walkthrough. So you guys get some understanding. Think about if Dojo had an office and you guys needed a cleaning company, you would search Google or however it is that you would search, and you would find a cleaning company. The next thing they're going to tell you is, awesome, can we do a walkthrough? We have to see the space. We have to get an understanding what the expectations are from you as a client. And you got to get notes. You got to get square footage, pictures. You have to understand what it is that you're going to clean and how much you're going to charge for it. Well, that's what Route does, is it digitizes that, creates a portrait of the space, all within the mobile application. And it's shareable, right? Like, you could be in Chicago and do a walkthrough in Mexico, and the person that's in Mexico can come up with the quote and without ever seeing the place or stepping foot, because it's all in a digital format, right? So we're giving the power of data and technology into the hands of mom and pop shops, small business owners that never had this before, and now are able to streamline the walkthrough to the bid to the proposal together on one platform versus using multiple tools.
Do you also extend that into the invoicing? Does it also allow for invoicing and then reconciliation? How far does it go?
For sure. I mean, my team would probably get mad at me if I talk about the future, but we're working on 2.0. We're raising money. We're on a safe note right now, entering into the pre-seed round in the next 6 to 8 months. But our 1.0 is the sales tool. Our 2.0, yes, to an extent, right? So we're adding CRM. We're supply ordering process, invoice and billing platform. Because what happens with a sale? You close it by getting paid. So it makes sense to do that. And then more and more will get packed on. We don't want to be everything, but we want to be what's important for the sale, which is invoicing and supplies. Because again, when you're a small business owner, there's a lot there that you have to know and understand. If you don't know your numbers, you're screwed. Like you won't win the big contracts. And if you don't win the big contracts, you're never going to grow your business. And I'll tell you what, in cleaning with COVID now, it's a sexy, lucrative business. If you do it right, it's just amazing how it's changed my life. I never thought I'd be in cleaning when I went to school to be a sports agent,
Ricky, I got a question for you. It's very obvious to me that, you, as you say, you walk the walk and you know the business, and you had this vision of getting into the tech world without necessarily being an engineer or someone with a technological background. In the way I see it, you're sort of an outlier. So you're like, you have this special vision of how things could work. So, but let's say that your client base might be smaller companies, as you say, mom and pop shops, even companies that might be run by, let's call it older generations, types of owners or folks. Would you say that, or what would you say to these business owners that are kind of in the fence about getting too much into the tech space or maybe adamant to the whole thing? And I don't know about tech. I'm going to do business the old-fashioned way. What would you say to these people to foster adoption?
No, it's a great point, and we're living through that. Yeah, there's users that we'll talk to, and they say, "Oh, I don't need that. It's all up here. I don't need the tool." Right. And my answer to them is, "That's okay for now. That's okay for you." And again, this is something one of my angel investors always tells me. He's like, "Rick, some people are just going to be content. You cannot, not everybody wants to scale. So our target market is those consumers or customers that want to grow their business. So the only way to grow your business, though, is to be innovative. You've got to adapt to this kind of technology, or the other person is going to, or now clients are asking for it, right? Like, think about now with COVID is contactless. They don't even want you stepping foot in their property sometimes now. So how are you going to bid that property? There's got to be solutions that allow for a digitized way. So again, you could. But the second generation, guess what? That new son or daughter that's coming out of college, they want a mobile app. They want Excel spreadsheets, streamlined. They are looking for innovative ways to stop using so many manual processes. So it's only a matter of time, right? Like, we've got users around the world: Mexico, Canada, South Africa, New Zealand, Chile, Argentina, right? It's a global solution, because cleaning in the US is cleaning in Mexico, it's cleaning in Europe. The process doesn't change. The innovation is not, it's going to make an impact. And I mean, I don't want to force people to adapt, but you've got to be open-minded, man. I mean, it really comes to just understanding where technology helps you, because it's not that it's going to replace you. It's how do you say, it's like a co-partnership. Like, technology helps improve your processes. It doesn't replace your processes. Augment. Yes.
Yes. That word's come up a lot over this past year. In the same line of what you're doing, and going back to the title of today's show, blue collar workers, what would you say to people like you, perhaps even in different industries, right, who have this idea and might maybe undermine their own ability to step into a technical space? How would you encourage others to do what you did? And maybe you have some case studies or success stories of other individuals. And the flip side, how would you encourage those who are technical to take notice of the blue collar worker and have this increased willingness to pay attention to their needs and ideas?
That's a great question, Kim. I mean, so this is something I've actually been dealing with now. Now I'm 2 years into the company. We've got traction, we've got customers. We're past like an idea, right? And an MVP where I've gone through some struggles. And now, especially in Chicago, I'm part of the Latino, community here as far as, Latinos building tech, black and brown building tech, just anybody in general is co-founders, your team yourself up with, I have a non-technical, or I'm non-technical, but I have a technical co-founder. We have advisors. We have a team that we go to say, hey, this is not my cup of tea or my area of understanding. What's your advice? It's ask for help, ask for support. You cannot do anything yourself, but take a risk. I mean, everybody should want to learn things that are outside of your comfort zone, because your brain is your biggest muscle. And if you challenge your brain, your muscle will expand, right? And it starts to pump itself to say, hey, I don't feel right here. This is weird. This is different. But guess what? You're pumping a muscle that needed to be pumped at that time. And technology is one of those things. People, if you don't know about it, you're scared about it. But that's like any other thing, though. Like, I don't know much about the medical industry. I don't know much about mechanics. I'm the worst handyman there is. But you still try, though. Like, as an entrepreneur, you have that mindset that you should want to know a little bit. Just give me a little. Like, I could speak on technology now, and I know tech stack, I know language, I know different code, but just a little, just to be a little dangerous. But I didn't know jack before I started this company.
So that, I mean, what I'm hearing, Ricky, is you've got to have the vision, the fortitude to want to do something, the ambition to want to do something. But often that ambition is coupled with a bit of an ego that doesn't serve you, right? So I'm hearing is be ambitious, but be humble enough to ask for help and know what you're strong in. And that's a challenge for a lot of people. I mean, let's face it. Also, I think we're all Latino here, right? That's also a challenge in the Latino community, that humility to ask for help, to be vulnerable, to ask for help. It's like we're raised to be very proud and to know it all. That's just how we're culturally raised, right? So how did you get past that and realize that there's actually strength in the vulnerability of asking for help? Because ultimately it's about building something, right? Not showing that you've got it. How did you get through that? Was that a challenge for you? Yeah. And what did you learn in doing that you could share with others listening, perhaps, that are like, yeah, I got that problem too. How do I crack through it?
Man, you know what? And this is something that like with Regalado, right? My family business, we got about 700 employees. We're in about 20 states. We've got a culture where in the beginning it was always me doing everything. And then you bring on help. That, like, trust is a big factor. I didn't trust anybody in the beginning. My first 3 years, me and my wife and my cousin and my dad, mom, we did everything. And I didn't trust people. I Googled everything. I researched everything. I thought I could figure it out first. So I did struggle with, thinking somebody else could help me, but I couldn't honestly tell you when that was, as far as like, if it was just something that triggered. I think it has to do with you as a person. There are the people that are the leaders. There are people that are great order takers, and there are people that are great at giving the orders, right? Like, you have to know, who's the visionary, who's the integrator, who's the workforce. Some people, like, we just had a meeting. We have managers that don't want to manage too many people. They don't want to go outside of their comfort zone. Don't put people in a position that they're not going to feel comfortable with. So us as entrepreneurs, we better feel comfortable with being humble, asking for questions. Because when I started to do that, I started to see my legacy build, right? Because it's not even an empire. I'm building a legacy, because empires fall, right? So in our case, everything that I started to do, and if I didn't ask a question, I had regret. And if you have regret, you could lose a day in your life, right? A whole day, because you're regretting, I should have. Damn, why didn't I? And it becomes a mindset. Like, your mindset gets screwed up. And man, it was humbling for me as I grew these different companies and businesses, and as I built Route, because I assumed people would look at my history and say, he's built that. Oh, that's successful. Oh, okay. So this is going to work. No, hell no. You start from zero again. Like I never had experience in technology. So I had to get those no's, get the people that doubted us, receive the information. Like, it was tough. I'm not egotistical. I'm very positive. I'm very, I don't look at the negative at anything, but to hear people tell me sometimes and doubt us, I was like, man, it's not an easy pill to swallow, but you got to keep moving forward. That was something my dad always told me. He's like, not everybody's going to like you, Rick. Not everybody's going to like your ideas. Not everybody's going to think, what you're doing is great. Just worry about the people that are in your corner and that are supporting you. The others, just zone them out.
Awesome. That's how you get the last laugh. All right. So here you are learning tech, building this business, which, by the way, I think is phenomenal because you've basically created the Uber for small businesses, right? The platform for small businesses to essentially run their business better and digitize their business. How does it work? Do they license it and white label it, or how do you actually go about licensing the platform for your mom and pop shop?
Yeah, so it's a subscription-based system, right? So we're B2B SaaS today. We plan on being a platform, in like a suite of tools as we're growing out the features. But today it's simple. You're a commercial cleaning company. You want to use the tool, you sign up, you get a 30-day free trial, you get onboarded and you do a demo. It's very easy you start using the product tomorrow, right? So it's a mobile app and it's a web app, because on the mobile, you're doing the walkthroughs. On the web app, you're doing the proposals, you're doing all the bidding there. And then once you submit the proposal, you start to generate new business for yourself. So all we are, though, is subscription-based today. That will change down the road. But it's a very easy process. Like, if you went to getroute.com and just signed up for a trial, you could start using the tool tomorrow.
Ricky, I have a question, but this is a different type of question. We're approaching the final seconds of today's conversation. So I'd like to ask you this. Out there, we might have viewers who might be watching the show right now, who can potentially have an interest in your company, in Route, even as an option to work for employment. Mm-hmm. So if with that in mind, what would you say that makes Route a great company to work for? What's the culture like? What it's important? What do you look for in your team in order to make it a great company culture or atmosphere, however you want to call it? What would you say to these people who might be watching out there, who might have an interest in Route and might want to come work for you?
I mean, we're family, we're grounded, we keep it real here, and we have fun, right? So like everything, you see our vision on the walls, you see our mission statement on the wall. I have a word wall that speaks on all the different adjectives of who it is that walks in our doors, the things that they should have as they're working. Everybody should be empowering each other, because again, this is not a job. This is a career and a vehicle for them to, hey, we've had employees that went and started their own business because we helped them get their LLC, get their S Corp, understand what it is that they want to do. Because either we are where somebody will come and build a career for the rest of their life, or we're that vehicle to get to the next step in their life as a employer, as a business owner. But it's positive atmosphere, man. You will see your work on the shelf here. As a Route employee, especially, the developers we have all came in green. They came in new. They never worked for a startup, right? Because it's tough. It's a grind. So with here, their work's being put on the shelf. They're proud because they see that we have 250 plus customers using the application. We have people getting onboarded. They see the Slack channel with the new subscribers that sign up. They're all a part of it. When I'm talking to them about an investment round, they're a part of it. So it's very, small and nimble, but very powerful. Because your voice and your work will speak volumes to who we are as a company.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ricky. That was my question. Back to you guys. Well, we're about to wrap up, by the way, so you might want to come up with some final words of wisdom for our audience.
I got a couple. I got one or two more, but I want to see if Kim has a follow-up before I do that.
Go for it, and maybe I can...
Awesome. Great. So being new to tech, you're not new anymore, really. You're in there. You're speaking all the words, and you're obviously building this, and it's shown to be a success. And I think it's phenomenal how many people can transfer skills in tech. And if you got an idea and you align yourself with the right technical folks, you can make anything happen.
Oh yeah.
What happens is when you get into tech, you start to see a vision of what could be, right? That's the beautiful thing. Why I've been in tech for 31 years. You start to see what could be, how the world could be, what you could solve in the world. And talking to hundreds of CEOs on this show, you start to see patterns of how technology is evolving and how we're evolving as a species alongside of technology. What do you see next, potentially, beyond this for yourself? You see potential to expand your interest in tech? What would that be for you that you're seeing as a potential opportunities in the next 5 years?
Oh man, I'm just getting started right now with Route, right? Like there is my team gets super mad at me because they're like, dude, stop. No more. We have a focus, the roadmap. We're done for 2021, right? Like there is no more room for ideas. The roadmap's there. The sprints are being done. Development is already in case. But that's what's exciting is there is so much to do with technology, and especially an industry like ours, right? But then it's not just my industry, you guys, too. It's, facilities in general, consumer-based products. I've got other ideas, right? Where I'm just infatuated, where I love my service-based business, and that grows gradually, and that's phenomenal because I'm impacting so many lives. But I told my dad, that I would impact millions of people's lives. And really the only way to impact that many people is through technology, right? Not that you can in the other sense, but that's a difficult task, right? To accomplish doing it the service-based wise, where if I could couple that and leverage my knowledge there and bring it on the technology side, it's amazing what you could do with solutions that you build for your industry if you are just focused on the impact it's going to make, throughout the world. And that's really my drive, is I want to continue to build product that's going to impact people's lives, especially the small business community, because that is the genre, in my opinion, that needs technology to win these bigger contracts or win business that is going to elevate the economy. The economy is based on the blue collar industry, and the more tech they have, the higher the bar is going to be for them. And it's just going to improve our economy, because it really does hurt me when I see people look at some of these jobs on the lower side of the totem pole, and it's, low to middle income wages that, if we don't start to charge more and raise that bar, you can't even live with some of the wages that some of these people are working their butts off. And that comes from the top. Like, we got to improve that every step of the way to be able to pay them better.
Absolutely. The small businesses have been impacted, especially during the pandemic, and as a result, so has the middle class. So congratulations. We're going to keep an eye on you. We expect big things from you. We see it. We feel it. Congratulations on your success. We're wrapping up now. Just stay with us as we go off the air. Carlos, what do we got coming up? We got one more show this week, right? On Thursday?
One more show on Thursday, Tulio, and that's going to be with Bruce Licharwig, the president and CEO of Galen Robotics. The topic is going to be digital. Listen to this: digital surgery as a service. The future of surgical robotics. So I really look forward to this conversation and see what's in store for us in the near future and in surgical robotics.
Damn.
I can't picture myself,
getting surgery by a robot.
Getting surgery from a robot. There must be something to it. So I look forward to this conversation.
We have
That's
to
what
see.
we have.
You've seen
right here on
Prometheus,
DojoLIVE.
right? I mean,
True.
Yeah. Right here on DojoLIVE
Well,
at 12 p.m. Pacific.
thanks for being with us. Be safe.
Be safe.